Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host Sam and we are back again with another one. So Champions League comes to an end and we've just witnessed some of the best games. PSG, an amazing comeback against Manchester City. Well, what about a shocker defeat that Feyenoord just inflicted on the hands of Bayern Munich? A lot of things have happened. Some teams are very close to elimination, as other people are very close to actually qualifying. The interesting part, there are only two teams as we stand right now who have qualified for the next round, and it's still Barcelona and Liverpool. The other ones, they have to play the final game to officially qualify, or they're going to the playoffs. That's what makes this tournament even more exciting than usual, because I don't think we would have expected it to be this busy, especially in the last 2 days. I thought at some point some people were talking about that some teams have some games to spare, but now when you look at it now, it feels like there are no games to spare, especially if you want to save energy for the competition you are fighting for. Because remember, they were dealing with the champions of Spain, champions of England, champions of Germany, champions of all the other countries that are in Europe, and they are all fighting to stay as well relevant in the competition that they are domestically as well as in the Champions League. So it's actually exciting. So let's talk about the games which we actually won today. Then at the end of the day, at the end of this, we'll look at how the table is looking like and the teams that are in the top 10. And we'll just, rub off the ones who have officially qualified, who are no longer going out of the top 8. It's exciting. I'm enjoying now the Champions League. People thought that this, list was boring, but I think it's getting exciting. So, of course, the games which were played it was Shakhtar Donetsk versus Brest. We also saw Spartak Prague playing against Inter. We saw Feyenoord playing against Bayern Munich, Arsenal playing against Dinamo Zagreb, AC Milan playing against Girona, PSG playing against Man City. Then we saw Real Madrid playing against RB Salzburg. Then Celtic playing against Young Boy. So the result of all these teams, which I just mentioned, were firstly, Shakhtar beat Brest by 2 goals to 0. Inter won by 1 goal to 0 against Spartak Prague. So don't take Spartak Prague for granted because they really put out a competition. Then also Feyenoord humiliated, embarrassed, and destroyed Bayern Munich by 3 goals to 0. We need to talk about that game because I think it holds so much weight over what's happening here, because these are some of the bigger teams who expected them to be this, and I think that's what makes this competition this year even more exciting and interesting, because even the bigger teams who are they usually look at the group and they know what they have to do because of the unpredictability of this competition. We're getting the best of the best. Then, of course, Arsenal beat Dinamo Zagreb by 3 goals to 0. AC Milan beat Girona by 1 goal to 0. PSG had one of the best comebacks of this one. Of course, I know we were talking about Barcelona yesterday, but they won by 4 goals to 2. At some point, they were losing by 2 goals to 0. That tells you everything you need to know, especially against Manchester City. Then, of course, Real Madrid played against Red Bull Salzburg and they beat it by 5 goals to 1. Then Celtic, who got a red card, win the game by 1 goal to 0. So let's talk about Bayern Munich versus Feyenoord. This is the team that people are saying that are gonna might win. Of course, they might win the league in Bundesliga. They're fighting hand in hand against, of course, Bayern Leverkusen. Of course, we know what they did last season, but this is the new season. They've been playing good under the new manager. They look like they are a new team. They are attacking. They go to Feyenoord. This is Arne Slot's former team, by the way, and they were beaten by 3 goals to 0. Of course, I did not watch all the games and whatever that happened, but I saw the first goal. The way Feyenoord took advantage of the high line of Bayern Munich could have been the reason why this game became so easy for Feyenoord to actually win the game, because they were leaving so much space in their attack and they just had to defend them and get them on the counter. I'm not saying that all the other 2 goals were scored on counters, but we saw the first mistake and I knew for a fact that they are going to try to come back in the game and open so much space for the strike force of Feyenoord to take advantage. And I think advantages to what they did. This was a shocker performance. Nobody saw this one coming. These are the champions of Germany playing a team that is the Netherlands. I'm not even sure which position they finished on last season. That tells you everything you need to know. You cannot predict the Champions League. That's what I'm telling you. This Champions League is even more exciting. Of course, I get it. Liverpool, my team, has won all the games that they've played. One game is left. They could win all of them. I get that. But Real Madrid has been shocked by some of the teams. Bayern Munich now, PSG, Man City. All of these teams have something in common that they can also highlight over how this Champions League has really been unpredictable. And we saw it today by 3 goals to 0. Manchester City went to PSG, and I have to say, from start to finish, you could see the youth and the eagerness of this PSG squad to show that they mean business, they mean statement. Remember, in this getting into this game, this team were in the relegation zone. So the only way they could get out of that relegation zone was to beat Manchester City. But there's the problem. Man City are just 2 steps away from the relegation zone. So it means they just had to maintain or win this game so that they don't find themselves going into the relegation zone, because it's a situation of shifting that PSG goes out and they go in. It was exciting, and it became even more exciting in the second half when Jack Grealish came from bench, scores the first goal, and I'm like, okay, there's gonna be a game. And as it continues, Haaland scores out of a mistake from PSG. Then PSG, they had to take it easy, started playing football, and the attack took advantage of the spaces, put pressure on Manchester City, took advantage of their mistake, their defensive mistakes, their attacking mistakes, and they hit them all on the counter. If you look at all the PSG goals, they're either a City player not standing in the position that they're supposed to be, or maybe taking advantages of the mistakes that the City players have made. And that's it. That was the trick that PSG used. But on the other hand, Manchester City, as much as they've bought a lot of players, they still need to work on this, because this team look of old. They look of old age. They don't look like a team that understands what they're doing. They are having what we call head losses every single time when they're playing a game. They take advantages of the game, but they're not able to see the games over to the line. And if that continues, I worry for them. I worry for them for where they're going. And that's what makes this even more exciting. I wonder what Pep Guardiola is going to do to try and get a direction over what his team is actually going to do. How is he going to try to get this team back into the line, into the fighting spirit, or what? Luis Enrique needed to win, and he did win. 1 game left, and now they have an opportunity to go to of course, what do we call those things? I forgot the name before they actually go to the round of 16. So it's the elimination stages before they go to the round of 16, because no matter what they do, they were never going to go back into those automatic qualifying positions. There are teams that are really candidates to win those. Two have already been taken off the 8, so 6 spots left. It's going to be exciting how the net games next week look like in the Champions League. And that's why I'm telling people the Champions League this season might be different, but it's more exciting. We've watched teams playing different countries, going to different countries a lot more than usual, and it was exciting, and it still remains exciting. And I can't wait to see how this competition comes to an end. Maybe because my team is showing like they are, maybe Barcelona is close to them, but they are fighting and they're giving us something to be excited about. But that's what we're here for. So let's move on as we talk about the other things that are going to be happening here. Of course, Real Madrid needed to win, beat a team by 5 goals to 0. I heard that Kylian Mbappe just made a new record because by scoring the goal he scored, he has 75 goals and assists in the Champions League, and he's only 26 years old. That is very, very high. This guy is going to make history, I'm telling you. Then, of course, the likes of Vini Jr. scored and everything happened, but the all in all, which was very important to them, was for them to win the game. And I think that's what they did, and that's what counts. Arsenal needed to get the job done, went and played the way at home, and they played the team that they played, Dinamo Zagreb. They won by 3 goals to 0. They kept the momentum. This gives them confidence to the league that they're going to be playing this week. That's all that you need to get. And of course, AC Milan playing against Girona. Girona is not an easy team to play against, by the way. People might look at it and think that they're just a smaller team. That is a lie. Liverpool played and they won by 1-0. And it was actually a penalty from Salah. They won again by 1-0 AC Milan. That tells you everything you need to know about Girona. Let's see what happens as they continue. Celtic got a red card, played the game, and I think I heard that there was a deflection in the game. That's how they got the job done and they won the game. And I think that just Inter beat Spartak Prague by 1-0. Could have been interesting, could have been not easy, but at the end of the day, they got the job done. So the biggest wins of the week. Let's just round it out this as we come to the end of the review of today's game. Let's talk about the biggest wins of the week. We are going to look at them from yesterday's games and today's games. And I have to say, Atletico versus Bayern Leverkusen. Going to 10 men, playing most of the games with 10 men. Also scoring 2 goals, even though Leverkusen got a red card later on. That was amazing. That showed spirit. Barcelona versus Benfica. This game had everything that you needed to see. Drama, mistakes, taking advantage of, and scoring. It was raining goals. 5 goals were scored by Barcelona, 4 goals were scored by Benfica. Benfica got a red card. That's how the game finished. Excitement was in the air. I'm telling you, that's one of the best games. So it's Atletico in that one now, and I have to go, and it's a must, go with Manchester City versus PSG. A comeback that you look like you're losing 2-0 down, and in the space of 8 minutes, you draw to 2-2. Then from that point to the end of the game, you score the other games, and that makes the game even more exciting, I have to say. And I can't wait to see. I think those were the biggest games of the week. Oh no, lastly, Feyenoord versus Bayern Munich, hosting European royalty like that and massacring them at home. That takes some doing, I'm telling you. That takes some doing. So I'm gonna play a game between between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona Benfica. Which game do you think were the best game? Let me know in the comment section. Do you choose who you feel like were the best? Then also between Feyenoord versus Bayern Munich and Manchester City versus PSG, who were the best? I want you guys to do me in the comment section. Make sure you tell me who you think those two of the games between Atletico Madrid versus Leverkusen and Benfica versus Barcelona versus what do you call that? Um, Feyenoord versus Bayern Munich, as well as Manchester City versus PSG. Then make sure that, by the way, those two that goes, they go head to head. And in the final, you tell me which, in your own opinion, was the best game of the season. I'll review some of the comments you leave there. Then we'll talk about it. I'm excited about this one. Like the video, subscribe to the connect. So as we continue, as we're about to come to an end, we look at the table. Who have qualified, who are in the chopping block, and who still needs to hold on to the very end. So remember, we are looking at the top 8. The final top 8 are the ones that matters. 2 teams have officially been qualified to the round of 16, which is Liverpool and Barcelona. It doesn't matter where they're going to be when it comes to those are already there in the final. The team that follows after this is Arsenal. Then they are very close to each other with Inter. They have the same amount of points, which is 16-16. Atletico Madrid are at 15 below. AC Milan are at 15. Atlanta are at 14. Then the 13 of Leverkusen. And outside of the top 8 is Aston Villa with 18, Monaco with 18, Feyenoord with 18, Lille with 13, Brest with 13, Dortmund with 12, Bayern Munich with 12, Real Madrid with 12, Juventus with 12, Celtic with 12, PSV with 11, then Club Brugge also with 11. We are already at number 20 here now. Benfica with 21, 22 PSG with 10. Then, of course, Sporting with 10 at 23. Of course, Stuttgart with 10 at 24. Now the teams that have been eliminated as it stands, and I have to make that clear as it stands. Man City on the top with 8, Dynamo Grozep with 8, Shakhtar with 7, Baloga with 5, Sparta Prague with 4, PSV, of course, Leipzig with 3, Girona with 3, Czech Vegda with 3, then is it Stem with 3, Salzburg with 3. So it's Leipzig and Salzburg who are already eliminated. Then we have Stofa Brest. Then we have Young Boys who are closing the thing with no points, those two below. So that's how things stand. And it's all going to be decided next week. Who goes through, who goes to the eliminations, and who is out of the Champions League. It's about to be exciting. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to Connect. Let me know what your thoughts were over the Champions League as we continue. Can't wait to see what happens. We are up. Peace. Subscribe to the Connect.